Oh, and I cuss. If that's a problem, tell me now and I'll try to rein it in.
I also cuss, so I'm glad to know I'm in good company. Hi, this is Cicchelli. Today I have with me Arwen of Tarot with Arwen.
Hey guys, I'm Arwen, the professional joy seeker. I'm also a professional tarot reader, and I'm super excited to be here. And I love her background. Isn't it so pretty? It's just neat. Unlike this, it's very neat.
I like your background too. It's witty. Awesome. So I have not watched all your videos. You have a ton of videos. I love your channel. Great energy. So I watched a couple of your videos to try and like prep for this. And I was like, well, she does tarot all the time, so we should probably talk about tarot. Like that's like, yeah. Um, and also about magic. And in one of your videos, you talked about speaking to rocks. So I kind of want to hit on these three things. Not in any particular order, again, totally free form. But where can my viewers find you?
You can find me under a rock in your backyard. But if you want to find me on the internet, look for tarotbyarwen.com.
All right, and I'll send that link up.
Tarot Arwen everywhere, Twitter, Facebook, wherever you go. So hopefully I'm easy to find.
I will definitely include the links in the bottom of this video. Awesome. So okay, what is your favorite tarot card if you have one currently?
Well, I tell people that if I get a deck, the way I know I'm going to connect with a deck is if I like Star and Death. But I get Star overall. I really like Star cards because they're goal seekers, high minded. I just like the energy of the Star card.
All right. So when you get a star card in a reading, what does it mean to you?
It really varies, Giana, because when I'm reading, I'm filtering through what the question is and what we're looking at. So a star card, generally speaking, I'm going to think about things like higher education, lofty goals,
Mm-hmm.
and having to stretch for what you want because touching stars is not easy.
Okay. All right. I like that. I like that a lot. Do you have a favorite tarot deck? Can you say?
I say it all the time. In fact, it's my primary.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It's the Gaian tarot, and I
Joanna,
this.
what's her name? Joanna Powell?
Joanna Powell Colbert.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm actually friends with her in real life and go to a retreat with her, and she's an amazing, amazing woman. But she laughs because I own like 3 of the limited editions, 3 or 4 of the Llewellyn version, and 2 or 3 of the Schiffer. I mean, I am like broke out with Gaian Tarot.
Yeah, I have that deck too. I really like it. I liked it online before it had been published. You could go there to get your tarot readings, and I would like every day. Click, click.
And it's still up.
Is it still up?
Well, yeah, and it's such a useful, it's really nice, and it doesn't force feed you opinions. I love that she gives you little quotes, and yeah, it's really a nice site there.
Yeah, I like that. I like that one a lot as well. Well, we're answering these questions really fast. What else do you want to talk about with tarot?
Well, I mean, I guess Star and Death, because Death to me is, you got to have a card that's. I like the scary cards. I call them the big bad behemoth cards.
Mm-hmm.
That's Death, the Tower, and the Devil. And Death in this card, I don't know if it's going to show up or not, but we'll try. It's a beautiful, beautiful scene until you look really closely.
Uh-huh.
There's the carcass of a dead blue heron.
Oh.
And the blue heron for Joanna and I is kind of a guide animal. We found that out when we were just beginning to be friends.
Mm-hmm.
And she said it really struck her when she saw that's a boat she saw that had been wrecked and the bird was dead in it. So it was very very much present for her in that moment. And death has to be about change and transformation.
Right.
And I don't like wimpy death cards. I don't like death cards that are like, oh, this is death, but it's pretty and it's right. It's not. I Scorpio moon. death is, it.
Right.
So, but, so I go way high with the star, and some people think way low with death, but what about you? Tell me what your favorite card is.
Well, actually, wait. I will tell you what my favorite card is, but I want to go back before I lose it. Gemini. So, I gotta. But I do have Scorpio moon too. When you say the devil is one of your ones that you look at, tell me how you interpret that card, because I always have. I have a little bit of difficulty with that card. Not that it's because it's the devil, but more of like when it comes up, I'm like, am I being, guided by my vices? What's going on?
I see it as a need for power over rather than power from within. One of my favorite representations of the death card, or the devil card, is in the Cat's Eye Tarot. And it shows an obvious basement. There's a cat's locked in the basement. There's a washer dryer, and there's a food bowl, and there's an open window right above the washer dryer set. Cat could get out, but the cat is like Chunky Monkey Cat and can't jump because the cat won't stop eating.
Okay.
So it's like how we get in our own way.
Okay.
And somebody told me, and I don't remember who it was a tarot class I took, and they said that they sometimes saw the devil card as the Calgon Take Me Away card, and it was your encouragement to get to a few of your little vices, have a few bonbons, and let the devil have his way for just that little tiny bit so that you go on. Because, sometimes if you say, I'm going to diet, I don't know about you, but when I say I'm going to diet, my brain hears, I'm going to eat every cookie in the house and then go find the ice cream.
The inner rebellion. Oh, yeah?
Right? Watch this, bitch. We're going to eat. So sometimes I interpret the devil like that, and I look at him from the Setian, Setian is the Temple of Set. Satanist is Anton LaVey, and they're really about power over, right? Rather than power from within and power to transform yourself. They want to, as a devil card, I would want to make you do what I want.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
So. Yeah. That's when I say power over. That's kind of what I look at. And addictions, yeah.
Yeah, but, yeah. If that's the thing. If the addictions aren't the thing, I'm like, what? What is it? Don't take away my coffee.
Right? They told me that we were on Twitter, and I use an app called Calm, and I follow them online, and they retweeted somebody who said this. He's a Microsoft trainer guy. I don't know his name offhand. But they said so-and-so said that using Calm app daily and giving up coffee changed his life. And I tweeted back and said, I agree on the meditation side of it, but give up coffee? Heretic. That's what I'm drinking now is coffee. So.
Yeah, I feel you. I'm there with you. Okay, so what is my favorite card? I like the Tower. I think the Tower is one of my favorites because it's like, it's coming. It's gonna come. And you know what? There's nothing you can do about it but be ready to do something brand new. I don't know. I like that one.
That would appeal to Gemini for sure.
Everything's gonna change. I'm like, yay!
Call this up and start something new.
Yeah. Yeah. With the other one, I mean, I feel like I go through phases. So there's sometimes that one tarot card will be like, oh yeah, I really like this one a lot. And then other times other ones will come up. You know what one I really kind of grapple with? The Hierophant. That one is always when I first was learning tarot and I first saw that card, I was like, I don't like this card. But then as I've sort of I don't know, worked through my dislike, it seems like the Hierophant is I don't know, the structured knowledge that you need before you can run wild. I don't know.
Yeah, I like that. Actually, I like that a lot. The Hierophant and I do not get along. I'm a Pisces sun, and a Gemini would have the same reaction to, here are the boundaries that we want you to work within. I'm going to go over here and do my thing.
Right.
But he's also a spiritual teacher, and he offers keys. So he offers keys to knowledge. So where the high priestess is, as you ask her questions, and you have to, the high priestess can be behind the veil, very mysterious, very much arcana.
Mm-hmm.
The Hierophant is way more willing to teach you if you will learn the way he wants you to learn.
Yeah.
You've got to do his work. There's a deck that I used to use all the time. It's the Frank Fradella Adventure Tarot. Sat out of print. Another one that I own multiple copies of. When you tell me something's going out of print, my, oh my God, I don't have enough kicks in. And I am your favorite, hey, we're having a sale today. You want me to, because I will think I must have it then. Adventure Tarot has his created superhero universe. And the only non-superhero in the entire deck, the only one without any superhero powers, no radioactive spider bite, nothing, is the character called the Swan. And the Swan is the Hierophant in this deck. And he does good for the sake of doing good.
Okay.
And when I applied that to the Hierophant, it really made sense to me. He follows the rules.
Right.
Because society as a whole has decided those rules.
Right.
And so his whole backstory really created a connection for me that I could get with the Hierophant. The Rider-Waite-Smith Hierophant, with his little alkalites bound down behind him.
Right.
Ping!
Right.
I flick them off the card.
There was another deck, I forget which one it was, but it was like literally the Pope, and I was like, no.
Many Marseille style decks. The Visconti Sforzi has the Pope, and one of them has the Papess. They use Pope Joan.
Right.
So and it's I had the same religion. Hell.
I know, right? I'm like, meh. Awesome. There's this thing I want to talk to you about, but then it's like just sort of like it's not really a thing I want to talk to you about, but I'm like, it keeps popping into my head. I'm like, should I talk to you about it? But it was a couple of years ago. I remember watching this video that you were doing that you said, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure this was what you said, that you used to be a lesbian and then you met a man and fell in love. But tell me a little bit more about that.
Well, I had a pretty normal childhood. Boy crazy. Donny Osmond, yay! I'm that old. And then I got to college and fell in love with a woman. And at that time, I was kind of black and white in my thinking. I was kind of very either or.
Right.
Well, I must love women only.
Right.
So, and I married a woman, had successful, not successful relationships. And then I started talking with a man on this was back when bulletin board systems, BBSs, were big, before the internet, gang. I told you I was old. And he and his wife came to visit, and he and I connected. And he and his wife were in an open relationship. Yes, it was a real open relationship, y'all. I know that game. He, and I all talked about it. And I began a relationship with him. And then while I was with him, because we were in a poly relationship, I was also seeing a woman. And I realized, I kind of like people. And it's this and the heart that I'm really attracted to rather than the outside package. Don't get me wrong. If Hugh Jackman walked in my house, all bets are off. He could be the snottiest boy in the whole wide world. I would still go for that at least once. Because it's Hugh Jackman. But, and then, so I got married after being with Mother. Mother was his nickname. And then I married a man who lived in Georgia. And after that, I went back to women for a while. So, people would say I'm bisexual. I self-identify as a queer femme. And I very much associate with the queer community. I have many, many friends in the community. But the man I met is open to all of that. We're not in an open relationship. That is, we both said that doesn't work for us. And hopefully it's the last relationship for both of us.
Right.
But, I met somebody who spoke to me on all the levels.
Right. Yeah.
But I've been all over the map sexually, except children and animals.
Right. Right.
You.
Right. Actually, while you were saying that, I was like, oh, that's why I'm supposed to ask her that question. So, like, what I'm getting from that is that sexuality is fluid. Yeah, I totally agree. Like, what you might identify as a particular category at some point, and that might change or become fluid over time. And similarly, I would also argue that like magic and who you work with in magic is also fluid.
I think that's a very good point because and I think that for some people, and I'm going to go astrological on us. I know, big surprise, but I think if your chart is very fixed and cardinal oriented,
Mm-hmm.
you probably are this sex is the only sex I want to be with, and this deity is the deity I will follow.
Oh.
Because cardinal and fixed would make you boom stay. But if you're mutable, and what is the I just bloop went right on my head. But if you're what are the other styles?
Mutable, cardinal, fixed.
Are there only 3? I thought there were 4.
There's air, earth, fire, water, 4, and then there's mutable, cardinal, fixed. Fixed? Mutable, cardinal, fixed. There's 3. Triangle with each element.
Okay, then that's where I'm getting you wrong. But I think if you've got more cardinal, if you're cardinal mutable, you may flow in a more flowy way. But if you're cardinal fixed, you're more of a pond.
Okay.
Or a big.
Yeah, that makes sense actually. Now that yeah, because like I teach a sociology of gender, and like something I keep like hitting up against a wall is like for me, gender is totally fluid. Like I can dress like a woman and be real femme. I can dress like a man and be real butch. I can sort of spectrum it and really be very fluid. So then gender is something that you perform every day. And then it always reminds me of like, well, can everybody perform gender in this fluid way? Because I think of Ellen DeGeneres acting femme, and I'm like, I don't know that would look right. It would look uncomfortable. So then like, okay, so then gender can be fluid, but for some people it's not.
And I think that for me, for gender, I've been partnered with FTMs also. The only gender bias that I have or basis that I have not been partnered with is an M to F, male to female. For those of you that don't know, but female to male, I have in the past had partnerships. Wonderful part. I'm still very good friends with most of my ex-lovers. Some of them are assholes, and I don't talk to them. Because I was never an asshole ever. I was perfect. So, but for me, and people tease me because I am hella femme. I mean, even when I was a lesbian, and I came out with, well, a lot of fairly separatist lesbians, and they used to get on me because I carried a purse and legs in my underarms. And so I finally rebelled because that is what I do best. And I kept my purse. I shaved one leg and I shaved one underarm.
And then the L word came out, and everybody.
And L was way. This was back.
Yeah. Right.
But and my friends were like, "Okay, we get it. You're a little different." So for me, my expression of self is very feminine. I have wonderful friends, and their expression is very masculine identified, but you will not call them he. They want to be called she.
Right.
I have friends who are Radcliffe Hall, like, kind of in the middle of everything. People will look at them, and you remember the old Saturday Night Live on Pat?
Pat.
They're a more sophisticated version of Pat. But they want to be called Z, they. It's never he or she. They totally, pronouns do not define them.
Right.
And it's a really interesting concept when you apply it to magical choice. because if you are gender fluid, which is one of my favorite words, would you only worship Hermes? Would you,
Oh.
would you worship the Morrigan, who is, if nothing, fierce feminine?
Right.
You cannot say that she's a masculine deity.
Right.
Just because she's war and or Kali.
Right.
Both of those have what we traditionally have been raised in the Western world to think of as that's a man's work.
Right. But they're definitely femme. Like, they have that strong female energy that we then recategorize into different gendered pronouns or different gender adjectives in order to describe it, because it's yeah.
Yeah, they become butch. They become ball busters. They
right,
become
exactly.
Bodikia, the Celtic queen. They say that's where we got the word dyke from. Pat Monahan did a pretty interesting thing on that. But why is war or
Fighting or killing?
Yeah, why is that male? Have you never seen a female alligator protect her young?
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Oh, you must
exactly.
I'm
doing
So for me, my deity is a duality.
Oh.
Tend to refer to them as themselves.
Mm-hmm.
It's a god and a goddess.
Mm-hmm.
And I know separatist feminists who are only goddess worshippers.
Right.
Fairies, that's generally the gay male Wicca group.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So magic and the worship of other,
mm-hmm.
Is big. And what about the people who worship the void?
Ooh.
Right? Because
I don't even know anything about that.
That's so not gendered.
Right. Exactly. Right.
Yeah.
Well, this is fascinating, because now I'm thinking about, like, when it comes to magical practice, there is seemingly still in the community this like anger, like, no, you can only do like follow the rules, and then there's other people like, rules are just there, and now we transcend them. You're being a da da da. Like, so it's like this constant, and like now to think like, oh shit, like if you're like fixed or cardinal and you don't like change or like this fluidity, then it seems like heresy to you. And if you're fluid, you can't be bound by the structure or dogma of one pantheon. So like, hey y'all, let's just look at our astrology and stop fighting.
Let's apply. Well, if you think about it, when pagans, and I'm going to use pagan as that big umbrella term like Christian.
Right.
So, when pagans look at one another and go, you're doing it wrong. They're applying the Christian ethic.
Worldview, mindset, yeah. Yeah.
And I've run into one-way pagans a bunch. I've been a one-way pagan.
Oh.
I mean, in the 80s, well, late 80s, early 90s, I came to the path in 85 is when I dedicated.
Mm-hmm.
And I talked to people who weren't even born then right now. But in the 90s, paganism kind of went boom.
Mm-hmm.
Like Scott Cunningham got published, and the door just burst wide open.
Right.
And we had our little e-loops and our little BBS threads where we talked about the big pinnacle kids. And these were the goth kids, and goth was just kind of coming around at that time, I think, who would wear like teacup saucer sized pentagrams.
Yeah, I remember those.
And we've got our pentagrams tucked in the shirt, we're double checking to make sure they're not out. We're taught, when I came out as a witch, you couldn't walk into a bookstore and have to figure out which book to buy. You had to figure out if there was a book to buy. Today's kids have it easy. We had to walk uphill both ways in the snow to get to college. always going to change. It's always what we have now. 20 years down the road, people are going to look back and go, "You had to press a button to make a phone call."
we have telepathy down, man.
Right? Or we just say, "Siri, make a call," or
Yeah.
whatever. Okay, she didn't. I actually have that set up.
Well, I didn't understand that.
But there's so many differences now. We didn't have this.
Right.
I couldn't go on YouTube and just plug in witch.
Right. Yeah.
And find stuff. So is it better now? Is it worse now? It's different.
Yeah, exactly.
But when people tell other people that they're doing it wrong,
mm-hmm.
It just makes my head hurt.
I know, right?
I
agree.
Every time somebody said somebody was doing something wrong.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. But then, like, I mean, I guess same with, like, going back to, like, the lesbian separatists, like, it's the same idea. When somebody, like, becomes, like, a pagan separatist, or, like, like, I do want to acknowledge that there are some pantheons that when you dedicate to that pantheon, there is no fluidity. And, like, that's a reality as well. And if you if you need fluidity, don't dedicate to that path.
Well, exactly. And I think that those who follow certain deities, and I'm going to bring up Kali and the Morrigan again, because neither of those are my deity.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say that they probably are a little fierce about your parameters.
Mm-hmm.
They want you to be to them and not, well, Kali on Wednesday, Morgan on Thursday, and why don't I just worship Apollo on Friday?
Right.
I don't think they're like that, but I do think that there are people who, can do things like that. And
right.
If you have a working relationship that you feel is true and right, who am I to tell you it's wrong?
Right. And yeah, and like, I mean, the deities work differently. Like, they have a basic mainframe of what they do, and then they sort of work differently with each practitioner. So if the practitioner is able to keep that sort of flexibility in their mind, where on that one day they are fully embodied in the, with that deity, and the next day they can be fully embodied with the other deity, then there's less anger between deities because you're giving your all to each one. It reminds me. Oh, go ahead.
I said, yeah, it's just.
I've done some work with ayahuasca. And when you're sort of prepping for ayahuasca, there's this whole diet for like 2 weeks before you go to work in ceremony. And in that, you have to not eat like pork or meat. You can't drink. There's all these rules. So basically, you only eat like bananas, rice, and fish, and beans. And the argument is that she's very jealous. And I remember when I heard that, I was like, really? A plant is jealous? Like, that sounds so mundane. Like, I don't know. I don't buy it. But it was a language translation problem. So it's not that she's jealous. She wants your full attention when you're going to work with her. And I kind of get that same thing with the deities that are like, you're not allowed to like do this and this and this. I want your full attention. So,
yeah, that master in 4th grade that didn't want you, sitting in the back row reading biographies. Projecting. But they do. They need you right there. And it may be, on some level, let's say you're going to go climb the Himalayan. And you're not focused on the task at hand.
Right.
Bad shit can happen.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
So I've done circles where they were ceremonial magic circles, and the attitude you brought to those circles is very different from the attitude we brought to just regular Sabbats.
Right.
We were very specific in how we set things up. We were very specific in what we did and said. And true story, I had to cut out of a ceremonial high magic circle that my coven was doing. We were doing the rite of Visago, if I remember correctly, and I had to pee. I've always been my bladder was about yay big, so I cut out properly, close properly, go to the restroom. I'm in my robe. I have my my belt on, and I have my athame in a sheath at my side. I have a block handle. I could grab it, but it's over on the other side. That's ebony. It's heavy wood. I get up to go back in. My athame falls out of the sheath, point down into my toe.
Oh!
Now, I'm here to tell you, physics rule out the possibility of the point falling down.
Right.
I never cut out of a high magic circle ever again.
What do you do when you have to pee?
Right? Y'all in the West need to move over. But it's a real eye-opener for me because I was pretty new to the path. I mean, I've only been practicing maybe a year or two at that point. I don't think I may have hit second degree by then. A real eye-opener for me, when I walked back in with a bleeding toe, I'd grab toilet paper and stuffed it on my toe and went back in. But we had to have a chat about that afterwards. The whole group of us sat down, and my high priestess said, "Yeah, that can happen."
Was it the blood sacrifice? Were you bleeding the ritual?
We did have a blood sacrifice portion of it.
Right.
We did have, and it was a anoint with blood what you were working on before you sealed it up.
Right.
I still have that, actually. I still have that item that I created then.
Oh.
I don't know where it is right off there, but I know I still have it. So, yeah.
I feel like they made it easy for you to get that blood.
It's going to wuss out when they pass out the lancets, because we use lancets, right?
Here, let's just take care of that for you. That's awesome.
Use it. But I think that, and I think that certain paths do require that. I wouldn't think that somebody from the Temple of Set, some of the Satanist group, would be multi-deitying it.
Right. Right.
Multi-deitying it.
I would agree with that one, actually, yeah. How interesting. Something popped in my head and then it's gone. What was I going to say? It was about... No, I forget. Okay. Do you want to talk about stones?
Yeah, I have one right here. I don't know where they're in my travel pack because I went traveling. Let me see. I have a few handy.
Awesome. And so show us what stones you have and tell us what they are. If you want to share, you don't have to.
Well, the first one is let me hold her up. A double-pointed crystal. I actually got her from somebody who was on Pinterest. What's the other one? Instagram. And they how people list stuff. This is for sale. If you comment you're for sold. And it was my birthday. I went, I always buy myself something. So that's the one. No, Arwen, that's nothing. That's the one.
Beautiful. Very pretty.
I love it. And then I have my Lapis Lazuli.
Ooh. Yeah, perfect.
Obelisk.
Gorgeous.
It's a beautiful, beautiful piece. I got it. I live near Lubbock, Texas, about an hour and a half from there. And there's a little store there that's brand new called Cicchelli on Memphis off 50th, if you like. And I love that store. But they have bunches of stones and they have really good prices. So this is one I got from there. And I'm going to give a little tiny lesson. Lapis has gold in it. Sodalite doesn't. If you ever have a question about whether it's lapis or sodalite, look for flecks of gold. Sodalite will not. Lapis absolutely will.
Yep.
And this is also a Cicchelli, and they laughed because they had actually priced this. It was a little higher, not super high. But they said lots of people come in and nobody had bought it. I said, well, that's because it was for me. And they were sad when I bought it because they kind of wanted it. And it is, I guess you can kind of see the green.
Yeah.
That is actually some green quartz inside there. Oh. So it's Green Phantom.
Oh, nice.
And it's a fairly one, and this one is one of my, I have cleavage, y'all. And I often have a crystal in my cleavage. I have also been known to have a cell phone, hotel key, shot glass, lipstick, and something else. I went to a party once, and it was actually a Butch Femme thing that I went to, and a bunch of us met in a hotel room, and I started pulling shit out of my bra, and when I got to the shot glass, it was all over.
I've done that before just with the stones, but I always forget when I take off my bra and then they drop and like I always forget. So
I've broken a crystal that way. Yeah.
I'm like, I know it's gonna drop, so.
But yeah, I've got crystals everywhere. I'm just looking back here, and I've got a huge geode back up here. So yeah, I'm
awesome.
Crystal lover. I've taught stones for a long time. I have self-styled myself as a stone witch. I've got on the internet, if you go, I've got a website that it's really strange. I actually met somebody recently, and we'd been talking, and they put two and two together, and they said, "Oh my God, that's your site?" They said it's one of the first sites I ever went to on the internet when I was first looking up witches, and it's Anasazi.com. It's called Stir the Cauldron.
Oh.
And I've got a stone site. There's the Pagan Table. It's a recipe list I run. It has links there, but I've got a stone gallery where I talk about 7 specific stones and show off images, and I've taught workshops on it and done stone layouts and stuff. I really, really love stones.
Awesome. I work with stones as well in a shamanic tradition. So I work in the Peruvian Caro shamanic cosmology, as well as being a witch and a Wiccan. And we work with stones too. This is a stone that's actually, it's not, I don't know what it is. It's a stone I found in Australia. It's my death stone. I thought you would appreciate that because you like the death the death card so much. When I was in Australia, my mom was there for work, and she's like, "Come and visit." And I had been like collecting stones for the Peruvian practice, and I hadn't found any stones yet. So I went out to this bridge over the water, and I was talking to Spirit. I'm like, "Hey, I thought you wanted me to get a stone, so like, I haven't seen any stones. You might want to like help me with that." And as I go to walk away from the bridge, I see this dead bird. And I'm like, wait, what? Like a dead pigeon. Like I sort of like, what? And like kind of fixated, like, oh, poor pigeon. And then like underneath the pigeon is all these stones. And I was like, oh shit.
That's awesome.
Yes, this is my death stone. It took me like a year to get comfortable with this stone and include it in my little altar. But, because that energy, I can like it and then not fully, I had to fully embrace it.
Well, have you looked at the 5th tarot?
A 5th tarot? No, I don't think I've heard of that one.
It's got 5 suits. The 5th, it has 5, it has major arcana and then 5 minors. And the 5th one is spirit. But they use a lot of, I want to say it's Toltec and Mayan imagery.
Oh, okay.
When I first heard about it, I was like, well, that's not a tarot deck. Because I'm kind of a purist. Am I a one-wayist? Every 8 cards makes a tarot deck. But I actually got to meet them. They happened to be in when I was living in Denver. I'm pretty sure Denver, I think. And I got to meet the creators, and they're lovely human beings, just lovely. And I got their deck because they were there. They had them. I bought it. They signed it. Woohoo! Again, the magpie in me, and I worked with the deck, and I will still work with it sometimes. And it's a high vibrational deck. I don't use that term easily, but really vibrationally very high.
Oh.
But you might want to look it up.
I'm definitely gonna look that up.
It's very gentle and new agey in a lot of places, but the Mayan and the Toltec stuff kind of creeps in here and there. So
very cool.
And I don't know if that ties in with the Peruvian or not. I don't know if that.
I would have to find out what their cosmological beliefs are. Yeah, everybody's got little differences or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll find out. So, when you were showing us your lapis lazuli, what does your lapis lazuli sort of work for you?
I use the Western chakra color system for stones.
Mm.
So yeah, it's throat. It's throat. With the gold, it's got some crown chakra going in there. So it's kind of it helps you speak on a higher level, if you will. It helps you connect, communication. You know, I use this. I do a matron patron tarot reading that been lots of people have been getting them. So if y'all are watching this and going, "Why is she talking to this woman and not doing my reading?" I'm sorry. But this is one of the stones I keep out because of that work.
Oh.
Kind of a bridge stone, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, I very much go with Anadea Judith's Wheels of Light. That's where I first learned about chakras, was through that book for my high priestess. That was one of her. I think she knows Anna. I don't know. It's been a minute, but that's why I use this. I use Iolite also for communication on that level.
Awesome. I love that. I love that idea. With that, I never thought about that, but I was familiar with the gold flex, but to have that's brilliant. Brilliant.
And the brown green death stone you have, I mean, that would be like belly and heart.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Although, interestingly, the brown part I think is blood. I think this might be like a blood stain. I'm not sure.
I'm going to say it's not, because I'm almost positive that's a piece of jasper.
Oh.
Moss jasper.
All right.
I'm positive that's a some type of moss jasper.
I can dig that.
It's a beautiful stone. There may be blood on it, absolutely.
I know. Don't look it.
Well, have you ever broken open a piece of what is it? Is it? There's a stone that if you break it open, it's red on the inside. And it might be hematite. Hematite.
I don't think I knew that. Now I'm gonna go break some hematite.
Right? What you doing? Nothing.
So, okay, how do you talk to stones? I'm curious.
I talk to them. I have conversations with them. I have this one, I did a lot of sleep and dreaming with. And I will literally lay down, and I'm going to try to do this without like rolling it, which I have done and it hurts. But I'll put them on my third eye and I will lay there with them and just open up to them.
Okay, all right.
I'm kind of new agey with stones, and I don't think new age is a bad word. I know some people who use it as newage, like sewage. I'm judging, but judge yourself. And I talk to them, and I open up to. It's so hard to to really communicate what it is. I like with the green on the inside of that. It's kind of like heart work and opening up and supercharging your heart, because it's all this green quartz encased in this great big, battery crystal. Do I get answers? Yeah. I mean, I talk to trees too.
Right. Trees are they're a little bit slower with the answer, right? Am I wrong on that?
No, not at all. They're very slow. I actually think that if you've ever read Tolkien, and in The Two Towers, the second book, Pippin and Merry, the little hobbits who are running after Samwise and Frodo, go to the Entwood. And one of the trees they talk to is Quickbeam. And this is why my name is Arwen, y'all. I am a Tolkien nerd. But Quickbeam is seen by the other trees as being far too chatty. And it really stuck with me. It really, really made an impression. I read it when I was I might have been 10 or 11 years old when I read the Lord of the Rings trilogy. But trees they're one of my favorite things to talk to. Yeah.
I'll have to try that now. I think it's just been my patience level. I just probably should like take a spot of time, go sit under a tree and like really allow myself to communicate with the tree. Because up until this point, I've just been like, yeah, I don't have time. I like you. I'm gonna hug you, but
I'll be back in a month to get your answer. But I like to just go up and I have a huge fir tree in my front yard where the past 2 years, we didn't get them this year. We've had a pair of horned owls, great horns that come. And we live in town. We don't live out in the country. But we think the blizzard was not kind to them, unfortunately. But I would just go up and put my hands on her and just there. And the way trees communicate to me, I come away with more than I went in with. And I don't get like, should I buy the red car? I don't get answers like that. I just get like, it's more like a meditation for me. It's more like I come away with, okay,
a bit of their vibe.
Yeah. And different trees have different vibes to me.
Like, they do. Some are like little assholes.
Well, and they grow so fast. Pine trees, shoot straight up.
Right.
It's kind of like a Gemini to me.
Some of them are like tricky and like jokey, and others are like calm and loving, and others are like
Yeah, I think they are. We had I can't remember what it's called, acacia, I think, in Austin, and they grow when I tell you thorns that are almost that long, I am not kidding.
Ooh.
That's what, 1, 2, I can't count, about 3 inches, about 2.5 inch thorns.
Oh, wow.
And they were said to be poisonous, but what the research has done is that what they think is because they're super sharp. I don't know if I have my acacia here. I have a big piece of it somewhere with thorns on it still, but what they think is that because they pierce so deeply,
right,
they carry a lot of bacteria and dirt and embed it in your arm, and you generally get an infection from it.
Oh, wow, yeah.
That's what they think the poison part is. I did some reading on it when I realized I had one of them at the apartment complex I lived.
Mm-hmm.
I love trees. Yeah, just stuff. I mean, and I found a bird skull in my yard.
Ooh, what kind?
It's a Mexican broadtail grackle.
Ooh, and I know what that looks like.
Huh?
I said that's one of the birds. I actually know what it looks like.
And I had to hide the one of the cats realized I had it up here, so I had to put it away. It's not quite clean, but let me see.
Oh, gorgeous! Wow, gorgeous.
So it's almost the exact same height as this.
Oh, wow, yeah.
But what the interesting thing is that there was a male who had been, I don't know, hit by a car or something in our street a couple of weeks ago, and I went out and I picked him up, and I did not give him a pagan burial, y'all. I know people are thinking, oh, Arwen, you went and blessed and released him and buried him in the earth. I blessed and released him and put him in the dumpster. I'm sorry. Scorpio moon, Death and I have a completely different relationship.
Right.
But I did bless and release him. I mean, I do that. I talk to when I'm driving, I inscribe the sign of the pentagram and bless and release all the animals I see on the road.
Me too.
Fortunately, too many, right?
Yeah.
There's a book called Rites from the Crystal Well by Ed Fitch, and he's got that's where I learned that from.
Oh, okay.
But I'm out in the yard picking up pine cones because we had the yard guy coming over, and my husband said, watch out for the dead bird. And I there was a carcass, and there was a wing here and a wing here, and one of the cats in the neighborhood, being a cat. And I went to step, and I stopped because I looked down, I thought there was an egg on the ground.
Oh, wow.
And I looked down and saw that perfect skull.
Oh, wow.
And my husband, who is not pagan, was totally like grossed. I was like, "You're not. Oh, ew! I can't even watch you." But oh, yeah, I did that. And I brought it in the house. I haven't really worked with it yet. I'm not sure what its purpose is, but I do see it as a gift.
Right, definitely. I find with skulls, I'm you don't have to do it. This is just what I've heard. Because I have a raven skull. You just talk to the spirit, like it's your like when you meditate with like a skull or like a stone skull, you talk to the spirit of that bird archetype or just that bird.
I like it. I like
Yeah.
it a lot.
Yeah.
One of the deities I've worked with in the past is known for her association with birds.
Oh, yeah, yeah. She's like, hey.
Yeah, when she called me, I was with friends in a bookstore and we had walked past. We were just looking at books. We were in the mystery section. We were all witches, but we weren't doing any witchy shit right there. We were just hanging out and blabbing. And I walk past and am a good 6 feet away, and a book goes boop.
Yeah, yeah.
There's nobody on the other side of me because my friends were there, and we all went. And the book that fell out was The Cat Who Sings with Birds by Lillian Brom Jackson.
Mm.
And it's her Cat Who series, but it was the Sings with Birds. And I had just, like, within a week, had a really interesting experience with a cardinal. Like, I'm in the car, and the cardinal goes, I mean, the wings must have touched the windshield. And another incident happened with birds, and I thought, okay, who's the bird lady calling me? And I did some work and figured out who it was, but yeah, it was, but the book truly jumped off the damn shelf. And if I had witnesses, I wouldn't believe it.
Right. I love those stories. Those are my favorite. When you're like, yeah, everybody saw that, right?
Not by myself, right? And I hadn't even looked, I mean, I hadn't even pulled the books off there.
Right. No, I know. Yeah. No, I see it. Right. As soon as you said it, I was like,
Crazy times, man.
That's awesome. Well, we're getting to the end here. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about? Share?
No, I think we've done stones, we've done dead birds, we've done rocks, we've done lesbians. Wait, well, talked about lesbians. So, yeah, but I really appreciate this opportunity. I hope you'll come chat with me on my channel and go through my little 13 things I want to know about you, where I tell you I've got 20 questions because I can't count.
Oh no, I plan on it. I'm definitely coming to your channel too.
Yay!
Yeah.
Thank you so very much. This has been a delight, and I love your channel, so thank you.
Thank you. I love your channel as well, and it's been a real delight to get to talk to you. I love your energy. I love what you're putting out there. I love that your tagline is
Seek joy, y'all.
Seek joy. There we go. There it is. There it is. Well, awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.